Alright, finally got the 10-minute mark, so let's talk about my books. So, let's start out with the short story collection. This is Another World Called Ours, as you can see. This, I think I put at least 10 stories in this one, and the next one. But anyways, this was before I really knew what I was doing. So there, you may encounter a mistake or two. I'm much more patient now. This one, I don't know if the cover really goes with it, but then again, maybe it does because of the title. But anyways, this book is basically a YA short story collection. Mainly, I would say fantasy-ish, humor-ish, maybe with a touch of supernatural. My favorite stories to write, or that I wrote in this one, would be Rain and Dandelions, Night of the Killer Cupcakes, and Two Wizards, a Leprechaun, and a Magic Llama. That one had a long title, but I really enjoyed writing that one. The next one is actually, I published this one before the first one you just seen there. This is a book of poetry, and this one is just straight poetry. The other poetry book has little doodles and stuff in it and some pictures that I took, but this one basically is just straight up poetry. A lot of this was from like when I was much younger, plus some that I had written at the time that, this was being published for me. So it's kind of a mix. A lot of it's very childlike, a lot of like haikus and limericks and just silly poetry, but there are some serious ones in there. Some of my favorite ones to write was the poetry poem. That one is just kind of fun. Rubies from Ivory, that one is a much more serious one about, I guess you would say kind of like depression and going through a really dark time. Ava Rain, one about, kind of your inner self wanting to break free. Yeah, it was a time in my life that was kind of crazy, or times. And this one has a lot of like rhyming poetry because I was kind of stuck on the idea of rhyming everything when I did poetry. So this one was published recently, sometime like last year, like the end of last year. I think I did it in October, November, one of those two. So I think maybe it's almost a year old now, but I could be wrong. It might have been later than that. Anyways, this one has poetry, art, and photography, as it says on here. This is one of my favorite covers. I took that picture just on a road in Minnesota. I have a lot of pictures from Minnesota in there. And this one, much like the first poetry book, is very personal, but this one I feel is a little bit different because different things were going on in my life, and I feel it's a little bit more mature. There's less rhyming. I mean, there still are some light-hearted poems in here, some like limericks and haikus and stuff like that, but a lot of it, is about things that have gone on in my life in recent years, and just kind of my way of dealing with it. One of my favorite poems that I put in here, it took me a while to write because I kind of had the idea. I had certain verses, but I didn't know where it was going, and then finally it came all together. And it's the first poem in there, and it's called Seasoned Friends. I really enjoyed writing that and putting that one together. That one, that one means a lot. Definitely Seasoned Friends. Touch the Moon is another one that, I hope kind of resonates with people, because I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. Liquid Fire is a pretty personal one. Yeah, I just had a lot of fun putting this together. And then finally there is I Don't Know These Shadows. This is my attempt at spookiness. So I believe I did put 10 in here. And yeah, this one took me a while to write because I had several ideas before I kind of just came to what this was. Some are inspired by true things, whether things that I've heard or things that I've experienced. The message is about, like, people being creepy online, basically. It's pizza night and it's pizza and zombie killing night. I always pick these longest titles and I can never remember them. That one, yes, was kind of inspired by everything that was going on with COVID and everything, and kind of how I think people would handle it if instead of that it was like a zombie virus thing that people were dealing with. Another one I enjoyed writing was called Red Bobby, which Red Bobby is a brick that kind of, it's not really a character, but it plays a part in the story, and that's a story about doppelgangers kind of taking over. So if any of these interest you, which I hope they do, they are all available on Amazon, and at least 2 are available on Ko-fi. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.